What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your daily news report and economic update for Tuesday, June 14th. So there's a bunch of stuff that we have to get to because this is all extremely important. First, I have a supply chain warning for you guys, as well as I want to clear up some rumors regarding what's going on with certain ports off the West Coast. We're going to talk about how Ukraine is demanding more weapons. Also, how the U.S. is encouraging, some agriculture companies and shipping companies to start buying up more Russian fertilizer. Yeah, interesting news there. We also talk about the producer price index, how it increased to 10.8%, and also give you some more updates as well. So that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. All I ask, spend 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, and let's get right down to it. So, first thing I want to do is I want to address the rumors that there's 30 U.S. ports on the west coast of the United States that will be shutting down. First off, I cannot say with absolute certainty that these 30 ports won't get shut down temporarily. There's always that chance. But, okay, and again, and if this were to happen, we could see our supply chain come to a massive halt. This would hurt our economy indefinitely. But why is this even possible? Well, here's the reason why. There's currently a collective bargaining agreement that expires on July 1st. Okay, so we're 17 days away. This agreement is with the International Longshore and Warehouse Union and the Pacific Maritime Association. They are representing about 70 terminal operators and ocean carriers. Now, according to them, they say that neither party is preparing for a strike or a lockout, and that is very good news because this isn't, that's great that we're not preparing for a strike, but this also isn't a deal either. The deal is the only thing that would actually prevent a strike at this point. So the good news is they aren't preparing for a strike. The bad news is it's still an option. So again, it's not great news. And if we were to see a strike at our West Coast ports, again, it would be devastating to the U.S. economy. So I've been seeing a lot of articles, a lot of videos talking about how, yes, these ports are going to be shutting down. They will be going on strike. That's not necessarily true, but it's still a possibility. All right? So just wanted to fill you in on what's going on there. Now, let's talk about another major shakeup to our U.S. economy, and that is the producer price index, because it just came out, and the PPI came in at an increased rate of 0.8% on the month. That is 10.8% on the year. Here's the good news. The good news here is that the annual gain is slightly off the record of 11.5% that we hit earlier on this year. Now, the reason why this could shake up the economy is because the Federal Reserve has a 2-day meeting. It starts today. It is expected, or was expected, that the Federal Reserve will likely raise rates by 75 basis points, and that was just based off considering the CPI report that came in last week, okay, at 8.6%. And so that's the issue there, is the Federal Reserve was already expected to raise rates by 75 basis points. That was before the producer price index came out. So, and what we always see is, and people call it the PPI, producer price index, wholesale prices, whatever you want to call it, it's the same report. But here's the thing. The CPI, the consumer price index, that's lagging based off of what the PPI tells us. Because again, keep in mind, companies buy products wholesale, so that's the PPI, and then they sell it to consumers, okay, and that's the consumer price index, right? So that's always a lagging indicator of what the producer price index is telling us. Now, hopefully I didn't make any of that confusing, but just understand that if the PPI report came in hotter than expected this month, next month, the CPI is likely to go up as well. Now, it's not a guarantee, but it's likely. Now, with the Federal Reserve knowing that the producer price index has rose as well, this is likely a guarantee that the Fed is going to raise rates faster than they originally expected. But again, we will find out more tomorrow after the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell speaks. So again, this is going to happen tomorrow. I will probably do a video tomorrow afternoon to address this exact thing because this is going to be critical, right? So again, if you have questions on that, let me know. You can always ask your questions down in the comment section below. Now, I want to share some very interesting news, and this is that the U.S. is kind of encouraging people to buy Russian fertilizer. Now, according to a recent report from Bloomberg, U.S. officials are encouraging agriculture and shipping companies to buy and carry more Russian fertilizer. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. We can't do that. We can't buy any Russian products because of sanctions that the U.S. has put on Russia. Well, that is not necessarily true because according to Bloomberg researchers, they are saying that the United States and even the European Union has built-in exemptions into their restrictions with Russia. And as a result, it will allow us to trade in fertilizer. I didn't know that, but that's interesting. But here's the problem. The problem is that we are currently facing, right now what we're facing is that shipping companies, banks, insurance companies, and kind of people that in between, they don't want to touch Russian fertilizer. They don't want to be part of the shipping process because they worry that what if they were to cross the lines and break the rules without even knowing it. So they're just saying, you know what, we just want our hands clean. We don't want to do any of this. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, but according to U.S. officials, they are urging people and companies to start buying Russian fertilizer. This will help with our food shortages. This will help reduce costs for fertilizer here in the U.S. and other places as well. But again, that's kind of what we're seeing. Now, we have heard from many sources that Russia is accepting of the fact that they're using food as a weapon. That's fine. They're okay with that. And currently, they have been doing this and all they can to prevent Ukraine from exporting any of their products as well, or at least so they thought. Now, the story out this morning is saying that Ukraine has been able to ship out some of their corn cargo through Poland. Interesting. They were actually able to do this by shipping through the Baltic Sea because as of right now, the Black Sea is still not open to Ukraine. We also know that Ukraine is sending a lot of cargo by land as well. And so this is how Ukraine is able to get out some of their, whether it's corn, some grain, I guess not a lot. So there's still a lot that's held up in the Black Sea. So we'll see what happens there. But now that we're talking about Ukraine, I want to fill you in on this story because I talked about this the other day, how we are going to see the defense ministers meeting this week. Okay. And so that's actually going to happen, let's see, I believe it's tomorrow. Yeah, June 15th. They're going to be holding a meeting in Brussels. Now, what you need to keep in mind is that right now Ukraine is asking for more military equipment. That's what they want. Because all the reports out there, it doesn't matter if you look on Fox News or CNN or Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal, it doesn't matter. But all the reports out there are saying that Ukraine is going to fall to Russia if they do not get more military equipment. Well, what we heard early on, if you remember back in February, was that even U.S. officials said Ukraine can handle it. Ukraine has the equipment, they have the troops, they can handle an invasion of Russian troops. Well, that story has changed. And now Ukrainian officials are telling us that no, they can't handle this. Okay? But I want to talk about a tweet from, I believe this was from the military advisor to President Zelensky of Ukraine. But he had this to say yesterday, because again, he's asking the U.S. for more weapons. And this is the tweet. Okay, this is what he wants. I want to show you this. It's very simple. Being straightforward to the end of the war, we need heavy weapons parity. 1,000 howitzers. Okay? 300 MLRS. We need 500 tanks, 2,000 armored vehicles, and 1,000 drones. That's what he's asking for. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit, being that we've already helped out, a lot. But just keep in mind, that's what they're saying. That's the discussions and the stories now is Ukraine is close to getting Russia out, but they need more help. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen there. But again, as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back and fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.